Welcome to High Heels and Lipstick Conversations, the space where grown ass women get real, get inspired, and get empowered. Where confidence meets class and real talk meets real women. Where we celebrate the power, resilience, and beauty of womanhood. I'm your host, Namia Carnice, your sister in style, success, and soulful conversations. This podcast is for my seasoned ladies, the women who've been there, done that, and are still stepping strong. From career moves to self-care, from relationships to reinvention, we keep it real, we keep it classy, and we always keep it fly. Whether you're strutting through life in stilettos or conquering the world with a bold red lip, this is your go-to for inspiration, sisterhood, and unfiltered conversation. Now go grab your wine, your coffee, or your tea, because this is High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. And we got some grown woman talk to do, y'all. And don't forget to like, share, and hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Listen, it is your girl, Namia Carnice, and we are live with another High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. I need you to come on in the room. I see y'all coming in the room already. And if you have never checked in with me before, let me get myself together, y'all. Let me get myself together. But if you have never checked in with a High Heels and Lipstick Conversations before, when we check in, when we show our presence, we put some high heels in the chat. We put some lipsticks in the chat, some kissy lips in the chat, just to show that we are here, that we are present, and we are ready to have some good talk, some good talk. Again, I am your host, Namia Carnice, your good girlfriend in your head. And if you've never joined a High Heels and Lipstick Conversations before, let me tell you what it's all about. This is the space where grown women, we get real, we get inspired, we get empowered here over at High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. This is a dynamic podcast. It's designed for women over 40, okay? This is our space, y'all. No diss to women under 40. We love y'all. Just keep living. You're going to be over 40 one day. But this is the space for us women who are seasoned women, okay? And we are seasoned women we're embracing our power. We're embracing our wisdom, and we are embracing our beauty. And sometimes we need spaces for us as women to discuss the things that are specific to us as seasoned women, and not only seasoned women, but Black seasoned women. And so we dig into everything in these conversations, from career, wellness, life, just inspiring, unfiltered conversations about life, love, wellness. And we just gonna have a good time this evening. I see y'all checking in. Thank you so much. Let me just highlight a couple of my people checking in. Thank y'all so much for being here. Drea, I see you. Thank you for checking in, sis. Making of the Champs, I see you. Thank you for checking in. Peg Lee 3, thank you for checking in on this evening. I appreciate you for checking in. I want to make sure I say it right. Alacius, thank you for checking in, sis. I appreciate you on this evening. And Angela Riddle, thank you for checking in on this evening. Listen, if you got you want a glass of wine or something, we're gonna give you an opportunity to get you a glass of wine or something, because this is gonna be some good conversation on this evening. I got some guest panelists that's coming to indulge and engage in some conversation on this evening, and I think it is going to be worth uh, your time on this evening. Listen, I need you to like, share, and subscribe to my podcast page. If you are on my personal page, please, again, there is going to come a time, and my personal page is Namia Cooper Miller. There is going to come a time where you will no longer be able to see these lives on my page. So if you are on my personal page, please venture over to Namia Carnice High Heels and Lipstick Conversation podcast, or High Heels and Lipstick Conversation podcast on Facebook, and like and share this live. I really appreciate if you would share this live. This helps individuals to know that I am here, that we got some good conversation going on, and I would just appreciate that. If you are on YouTube, please also share and like. Matter of fact, if you ain't on YouTube, go to my YouTube page, and I will drop those links here shortly. Go to my YouTube page, like, subscribe, and share, and push that little alert button so that you can know when I am live, and that'll help you get those alerts on your phone. You can know when I'm going live, because we're going to have a lot more conversations like this, and I don't want you to miss out on anything. Okay. So y'all, listen, I had a good weekend. Did y'all have a good weekend this weekend? I know it's Tuesday, so we're a day behind, but I had a good weekend this weekend. I went to go see, listen, the aunties of all aunties, the mother of all the aunties. I went to go see Mary J. Blige live and in concert on yesterday. And listen, it's so funny. I made a joke, a post, but baby, the aunties was in there. Baby, they had the whole arena packed, and baby, they were struggling in them damn heels. Okay, them boots, they were struggling in them boots. Okay, listen, listen, ladies was looking. One thing I love about us as women, black women, we gonna show up and show out. And Auntie Mary said, "Come on, put on your boots, come on and have a good time." And baby, they had boots up to here. They couldn't hardly walk. Okay. When the concert was over, I seen a lot of ladies sitting on the side, struggling on the side of the road, struggling. Baby, their feet was on fire. But it was a good time. I love me some Mary J. Blige. Listen, I feel like I grew up with her. I've been down with Mary since the 90s. Okay. I'm going down. I've been through every album with her. No more drama. I've been a teenager with her, and now I am beautifully middle age, and Mary is still doing her thing, and I love her resilience. I think she represents um, realness and authenticity, but also, the struggle. She doesn't shy away from the struggle. So I was happy to have partaken in going to see Mary on yesterday, as a matter of fact. So if this is your first time checking in, I want to let you know that I am an author. Okay, I am an author, and I have two books that you can go to Amazon and type in my author's name, Namia Carnice. I'll also drop the link for those at some point. But I have 7 lessons for her, and there's some good stuff in here. This is 7 lessons for every woman that's just looking for healing, empowerment, and restoration, and it walks through the life of one biblical character, the Samaritan woman, the woman at the well, and just what we can glean from her life. I also have words of wisdom, lipstick affirmation, words of wisdom every grown ass woman needs to know. These are currently on sale on Amazon. Lipstick affirmation is a love letter to us as women, and we walk through the book of Proverbs, to be exact, and just the things that we would learn and we would glean from the book of Proverbs, especially for us seasoned women who are growing. We didn't learn what we needed to learn, the lessons that we needed to learn. And so I'm going to remind you that those books are for purchase and for sale by the end of this conversation on tonight, but you can go to Amazon and go and purchase those books. Ruth, thank you for checking in. I appreciate you on this evening, sis. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate you. So listen, tonight, ladies, we are talking about on High Heels and Lipstick Conversation, the beauty of becoming. Okay. And the beauty of becoming, navigating the aging process as Black women. Okay. Aging is often something that I think we as women we dread, something that, if we're honest, when you are a Black woman, sometimes the pressure can feel heavier. We are fighting against all kinds of societal norms, right? There's a lot of stigma that's attached to women aging, and you know let's put aside the perimenopause and the menopause, which we did a whole episode on that last year, the impact of menopause and perimenopause. So I'm gonna re-put that broadcast out there, but because we gained a lot of information about a lot of the symptoms and a lot of things that we go through as women that we often do not associate and attach with menopause. We didn't learn a lot of stuff, ladies. All we knew was hot flashes and your period stops at one time or another. And there's so much more to the menopause and the perimenopause phase. But that's a whole nother conversation, okay? But one of the things that we often face in aging is we face the stereotypes of aging, that we're over the hill, we're no more good. We face what society says about us as aging women. We face the physical, the mental that comes with aging, and oftentimes you see that in a lot of ways. You see that come out in some ladies in their behaviors. Sometimes they're trying to compete with the younger women. They haven't accepted that they are 40 plus, 50 plus, and I think there is beauty in aging. And so tonight, we're going to reframe the aging process. We're going to reframe it as the beauty of becoming. Okay. It's the beauty of becoming. And what if we started to see, this is the question, what if we started to see the aging as not necessarily a loss, but something that's beautiful to us? And so today I'm going to bring on my guest panelists. We're going to talk about the beauty of becoming from an emotional, spiritual, sensual side of getting older. Tonight we are celebrating us as women. We are evolving in beauty. We're evolving in wisdom. We're evolving in our legacies. And the ladies that I have invited on are some ladies that I know personally. I've had an opportunity to celebrate some of these women recently in their milestone birthdays. I've had an opportunity to see some of these women in action in their entrepreneurship. I had an opportunity to see some of these women in action in their ministries. And so it's very intentional, the ladies that I brought on to have this conversation on tonight. So are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Listen, I need y'all to go grab your glass of wine, your tea, your glass of water, whatever it is that you have. And let's invite these ladies to the stage so that we can have a conversation. I'm going to bring them on one by one. Bring them on in. Good evening, ladies. Can you hear me? You can hear me fine?
Good evening.
Hey,
Good
Hey, everybody.
evening. It's so wonderful to have you ladies on this evening. Listen, if you see your good girlfriend on stage, I know I got a lot of good girlfriends that are checking in. Please show the ladies some love by putting some lipsticks in the chat, some high heels in the chat, some cute lipsticks in the chat. Thank you, ladies, for being on tonight and just having this important conversation. So on screen you may see like two versions of me. So let me know if you're hearing feedback or anything of that nature. But I just want this to be a real conversation on this evening, a real laid back conversation, a real authentic conversation. If you are in the audience, please do us a favor and share this broadcast. We want as many ladies to be a part of this conversation as possible. And I want to just go around and have the ladies introduce themselves. And I'm going to start to the lady that I see on my right, Miss Cheryl, my good girlfriend. And then we will just go around and allow the ladies to introduce themselves. Cheryl, why don't you start by introducing yourself?
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's a pleasure to be here. So, I am an author. I am a beauty enthusiast. I am a transformational coach. I am a nail tech. And I'm a philanthropist. That's who I am. That's my brand.
Yes, absolutely. And the shirt, she's going to tell you a little bit about the shirts that we have on. It's called SAG Sisters Aging Gracefully. So she's gonna tell us a little bit later how you can get one of these shirts and you
Yes.
can rock one of these Sisters Aging Gracefully shirts. Welcome to High Heels and Lipstick Conversations. Thank you for being a part of this very important conversation on this evening. My Mary Kay Diva, the diva of all divas. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my lady.
Okay, I am Nicole Brewer, better known as the Mary Kay Diva. I am a wife. I am a mother. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a aunt. I am a sister. I am a very good friend, and I'm definitely an encourager because encouragement goes a long way.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And if you are not friends with the Mary Kay Diva online, every morning she has an encouraging word for us as ladies. And so please follow her. We'll tell you at the end how to get in contact with any of these ladies if you want to support them, support their business, support their brand. They all have something going on. And so we will give you an opportunity to know where to go find them towards the end. My sister girl in ministry, Nikila, how are you?
I
Share
am
a little.
good.
Thank you for being on. So this is not Nikila's first time being with me and having conversation. The one thing I like about Nikila is, and I call her my sister girl in ministry because we have both seen each other labor in ministry, but our ministries are different. We real.
Yes.
It comes with a little rawness and a little ruggedness, and so I appreciate
Yeah.
that about Nikila. Share with us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I'm Nikila Majors. I say I'm a daughter of the Most High. I'm Stacy's wife. I'm a mom of five or six. I'm a grandma of five. It's a lot of kids around here. I'm a sister, auntie, all of those things. I'm an entrepreneur. I am in ministry. I have a title for the season, Kohaleth. But it just means preacher or teacher with the specific assignment like we have. And so I go by Coco with that. So that is where I'm at in ministry and just with everything, girl. I got my hands in everything. So
Yes.
um,
Keep it busy. Yes,
yes.
yes. Thank you for being here on this evening. And then Miss Raylan. So Miss Raylan had just celebrate a fabulous 50th birthday. And she is also an entrepreneur. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself and introduce yourself, Raylan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Raylan Crockett. I am a mother of two beautiful daughters. I'm also a Chief Human Resource Officer at Edgewater Health. But most of all, I am an entrepreneur. I have my own consulting business, Inspiring Visions Consulting. I also have Inspiring Visions Travel.
Yes.
And you may also know me as the Wine Lady.
Yes.
And yes, I'm a beautiful Black woman who has just entered my 50th season. As I say,
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations to you. Listen, I'm ready for 50. I'm almost there.
yes,
Um, I know that there was something that happened to me when I turned 40. So I always hear once you turn 50, it's a whole nother level of becoming. It's a whole
Mhm.
nother level of just
Hmm.
something happens. And so I am looking forward to that. So we got some ladies checking in. We got Miss Jerica Neal checking in. Thank you for being here on this evening, sis. We have Bernitra that's checking in. We have Amanda that's checking in. Thank you, ladies, for being here on this evening. So, listen, let's start the conversation here, and this is just open to any of my ladies, um, just to start the conversation. But finish this statement. I knew I was getting older when. I knew I was getting older when. When did it come? When did you ladies come to the realization that, hey, I'm over 40 or I'm approaching 50 or I'm mid? What was that thing that you felt, that mindset that kicked in? Maybe it was something physical. What was it that you felt you like, I know I'm getting older?
I,
Cheryl, let's start with you.
Yeah, I'll go first. So I knew I was getting older when I started choosing peace over proving a point.
Baby.
hmm
Yes,
Mm,
yes, yes,
I,
yes.
that's
I
good.
don't feel the need to explain why. Just know,
Mm-hmm.
or it's like, okay, you know how they say, okay,
Yes. Yeah. You got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yep,
Peace.
that's when I knew.
Yeah. When peace became your portion, when peace became the important part of your day, your
Absolutely.
your life, your livelihood. Absolutely.
hmm
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
My ladies in the audience, you're a part of this conversation too. So share with us as well as we're talking to the ladies. What was it that you felt when you knew that you were getting older? Okay, when it was that thing that you felt that you were getting older. I knew I was old when older. We don't say old, but I knew I was older when. What about you, Mary Kay Diva? You knew you was getting older when?
Well, for me, it was my children.
Yes.
When they started hitting milestone ages, going away to college, graduating college, it was like a reality to set in. Like I just had another one to reach 21 in April. And so that's for 21-year-old, well, 21 and over. And it was just
hmm
like, boom. And I was
Yeah.
asked the question when my daughter turned 21, how does it feel, by one of my other children? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of used to it now.
Yeah.
You guys set the tone, and she reached 21. It's a blessing just to watch them get older. But for me, it was my children. As they age, I'm aging as well, gracefully.
Yeah. You started to see you like my babies ain't no babies no more.
Yeah, just starting to accept it, with them moving
Yeah.
away and just doing their thing. It was like, wow,
Yeah.
just sitting back
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah. Watching them grow. And
Yes,
it happens in such a short period of time, right?
hmm
Like
absolutely.
at one minute you're holding and you see they're snotting, they're crying, and then the next minute they don't want you to tell them nothing.
Yeah.
That part. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yes. And that's the hardest part though, because
Yeah.
don't want them to make the same mistakes and that type of thing. So you just want to
Yeah.
be a blessing to your children, but they're like, I got this. And you gotta let them.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. Tequila, what was that moment for you?
I say when I kind of realized I was a matriarch. I've always been the oldest, and so I've always handled business type deal. But last year, I kind of looked up and I was like, I'm actually a matriarch. I have a legacy. My son, he has a son, and that's the last male, Shannon. And so
Yeah.
I'm holding the legacy of the family, and so that like really clicked to me, like, girl, you grown. You
Yeah.
gotta like really get into the fact that you have to shape them, and you have to really focus on the fact of they getting older and what you want to teach them, and kind of
Yeah.
transit like you said, Mary Kay Diva, that empty nest started to kick in, and then I
Yeah.
realized that it's beyond that. I got a whole nother generation coming up already that needs to learn, so
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. When what you teach and like you said, the legacy that you leave behind becomes so important at some
we've
point.
been kind of chilling. We've been, enjoying life, living it up. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, dang, we go, oh no,
Right.
like I gotta
Yeah.
teach y'all stuff.
Yes. Absolutely. What about you, Raylan? What was it that moment for you?
For me, I think it was realizing that I'm starting to sound like my mother.
Oh, baby, yes,
I was
yes,
actually in the kitchen one day and I think I was fussing at one of my daughters and I realized it's the same exact spot that I got in trouble in with my mom and pretty much she actually slapped me, but I sounded just like her.
yes,
The same advice, the same words, the same
Mm,
situation, and realized, okay, my kids are getting older. This is like karma coming back at me.
hmm,
But to be honest, I think it really, really hit me when I turned 50. I
yeah,
can't explain it. I can't, I don't know even how to explain it, but the feeling of turning 50 is a totally different feeling.
yeah,
It's beautiful. And
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's when it hit me. Okay, I'm 50.
yeah.
So
wow.
you'll be hearing me all year long say, I'm
I'm
50.
50.
50.
Listen, it's so funny. When I turned 40, I was like, listen, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm 40. That's when I
That
turned 40.
part.
I'm a grown ass woman. I'm 40. So
I
now
didn't say it's
it's
at
like,
45.
listen, I'm a grown ass woman. I'm 50.
Mhm.
I couldn't be grown in my household till 45, really. You know, my mama was like, girl, bye. You still a baby.
Yeah.
Nobody took me serious.
Oh
Listen,
my
I
goodness.
think for me, when I knew, some of the simplistic things in life, when I knew that I was getting older, when, again, I agree with all of you, like the peace, the kids getting older, empty nest life, and sounding like your mom, because I definitely sound like and do the exact same things that my mom. And speaking on that, when I started to find pleasure in things like, and y'all done heard me say this, sitting in my moo okay? I'm a moo lover. I'm a part of the moo delegation. But sitting on my patio and doing things like planting
Mhm.
flowers,
Mhm.
Yes.
that
Yes.
just brings me so much peace. Or going and doing home decor around my house. Like those are
Yeah.
the things that just,
Yes.
there's something about having a new piece of house decor or watching my flowers bloom in the
Mhm.
spring and the
Mhm.
summer and sitting on my patio in my moo
Happy.
and just reflecting. And I don't have to always be on the scene. I don't, for me, a good time is sitting out back in my moo or watching something good on TV or
Mhm.
just being
Hmm.
in a state of just peace.
Yes.
And that's when I knew I'm getting older. Some ladies are checking in. Michelle said she knew she was getting older when she was looking forward to going to bed.
That's a good one.
Every night.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
every
Lord.
night, baby, every
Now
night.
that'll be real.
Gia says, my choices of fun change. I no longer wanted to go out all the time. I love getting together with friends and family at our houses. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Listen, a house party is a good time for me.
Me,
Yes.
yeah.
Te-
On
Tell
that
me to bring
patio.
a bottle of wine and a good dish, and I'm
Yes.
there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Rook says, I knew that I started to get older to embrace becoming more mature when I looked back over my life and I realized how my faith had grown.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
Mhm.
began to expect, listen, Ruth, don't you come in here preaching,
Come on.
okay?
Right.
Listen, when you start having some experiences with the Lord and He puts
Yes.
that wisdom in you and you start to grow, and
Mhm.
that's so good because I just even in more recent, I have found myself saying more often, the Lord ain't never failed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I've never seen his righteous forsaken nor his seed
That
begging
part.
bread. So why would he fail me
Mhm.
now in this
Right.
situation?
Mhm.
Right.
When I was younger, he sustained me, he kept me, he provided for me. So why would I think he would do anything different now
Hmm.
in this moment? So
Mhm.
yes. Yes, yes, yes. So
That's
I
good.
think, in that, and ladies jump in, we need to reframe what it means to get older because it
Mhm.
comes with so, just so many stereotypes.
Mhm.
And in the beginning I said we need to reframe it from not getting old or getting older, but in becoming. So this is one of the questions that I want to pose to my audience, and give me a moment just to type it out. But what does becoming mean to you right now in this season of life? What does becoming mean to you in this season? And I'll pose that to you ladies as well on the panel, but what does becoming mean to you in this season of life right now? And this is open for anybody.
Becoming, I'll say for me, is more so taking more of a faith walk, getting connected, even more connected to God. Um, Having my peace, like Cheryl talked about, is so important. It's crucial that I have it today. Um, Becoming means using my voice and knowing that it is highly important and that I can use it. So
Yeah.
just becoming a force that I didn't know I really was and exercising the power that God has given me
Yes.
as Nicole, as I
Yes.
become more of Nicole.
Yes. Yes. And I do think part of that becoming is sometimes you don't realize who you are,
Yes.
um, and the power of your voice,
Hmm.
the power of your presence
Yeah.
sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
until you get a little older and and you come into your own. So I like that. I like that. My audience, what does becoming mean to you right now in this season of life? What does it mean to you becoming? Because again, we're reframing it. We're not getting older. We're becoming. We're becoming who God intended us to be. We're becoming women who are walking in their purpose. We are coming into embracing all of who we are. Angela says, for me, becoming means embracing who I am and realizing I have a voice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Sometimes we spend our younger years um, feeling inadequate, feeling that
Yeah.
we're not enough,
Yes.
feeling that we're not worthy. And it's something about getting older that helps us to embrace that. Any
Mhm.
thoughts
Yeah.
on that, lady?
I'll
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. When I turned 50, it hit me so hard. Um, Straight into menopause, and just got out of a marriage a couple of years ago, and really didn't know who I was.
Hmm.
I'd always been with somebody else, with my parents, with my ex-husband, and then now I'm in my late 40s, about to hit 50, and I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And so becoming for me happened when I just began to reflect back and just look in the mirror and just tell myself, okay, talk to yourself. Who are you?
Hmm.
You know, what do you like?
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What is it that, what are your goals? Now it's you. It's just you
Yeah.
now. What are
Hmm.
your goals? What are your aspirations? Where are you going in life? And looking in the mirror and really understanding about self-esteem as far as, okay, do you believe you're pretty or not?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you're pretty. Like, do you really believe that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So just a little short with me. I'm in the beauty industry. And so, we like weaves and wigs and glamour,
Hmm.
all of that. But I didn't realize that I was becoming until I took off the weave and the wigs.
Yeah.
Now that's just for me. I still love it
Yeah.
because I'm beauty industry, right?
Yeah.
Me, I hid behind hair.
Yeah.
I hid, how you had the hair all over on the side of your face and you got swoop right here, and you got
Yeah.
yeah, and that's how back in the day we had the asymmetrical hair.
Come on now, talk about me.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, I'm swooped tonight. Okay, yeah.
For me, my personal journey though, I had low self-esteem, and so I hid behind hair.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
I
that
get
was
it.
my story. So when I
Yeah.
got my locks, I'm like, you see me, you see this big forehead, these pretty eyes. Look, you see me, and I
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
embrace um my my age, even in that, cutting my
Yeah.
hair, getting locks, stop
Yeah.
hiding,
Mhm.
Yes.
to love myself more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, ladies?
I,
Uh,
I want to kind of
go ahead.
chime in on what Cheryl just said. It's also letting that gray grow. Let it
Yeah.
grow out. I
Mm.
Mm.
haven't I haven't dyed my
Lord
hair
Jesus, help
my
me.
hair
Uh,
in 2 months.
I
um
ain't ready.
for me even I've always been a thin 115, 130. I had to learn how to accept my size and myself now. I
Yeah.
love every single curve I have, every single what it is. I'm at
It
that
is
it
what it
is what
is,
it is
baby.
stage. I love
Menopause is here, baby. Yes.
right. It's here and it's not going anywhere. All I can do is pretty much um eat healthy and continue to exercise, but
Yes.
I had to embrace the fact that I'm no longer that 130-pound young lady I used to be, that
Yes.
I'm way double, probably double that size at this point. But I had to learn to embrace her and to
Yeah.
love her regardless and unconditionally, so
Mhm.
I
Absolutely.
understand that
Mhm.
now.
Love her unconditionally. Yes.
Hmm.
Nikila.
Yes.
Can I, and just to add, because y'all didn't say it really at all, I had to give myself permission to become, just being weighed down under a lot of stereotypes.
Yep.
I had to every day. And I was fantasizing about who I wanted to become. Oh, I want to be, for example, a fancy lady who walks around the house on the weekends in her moo and her fancy shoes and
Yeah.
cook like that. And that's what I want to be. And I'm fantasizing, but I was never doing it because, like Miss Cheryl said, my self esteem, I was
Yeah.
hiding behind too much stuff. But once I started, like, really giving my self permission every day, like, today it's okay to be, who do you want to be today? And that's
Yes.
okay. And so
Mhm.
let's do that. Let's be that. If it's a little piece from the dollar store, let's do that. And let's
Yes.
start building myself up to a place to where I gave myself permission to become. So it's not been just getting old necessarily or getting older. It's just showing up for myself every day. And I just happen to be getting older in the process, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's becoming better every day. So
Yeah.
Yes. Becoming
That's
better
good.
every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Michelle
Let
says,
me.
becoming in this season of life for me is learning me, listening to my inner voice and being okay with being okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tria
hmm
says, becoming in this season of life, I'm learning who I am. I've changed a lot and not the woman that I used to be.
Ooh, I love that part.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
That's good.
Latoya says, I'm still evolving as a woman. I didn't realize I was going to feel this way at this point in life. I feel living life unapologetically. And
Boom.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
breathing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shakante. Hey, Shakante. Listen,
Hey.
baby, listen. I'm just giving you a compliment, Shakante. If you want to know what 50 look like, baby,
Baby,
Bad.
baby, I ain't seen a badder 50-year-old than
Yes.
Shakante in my life, baby.
come
You
on here.
She set that
listen.
bar high.
Yes, baby, hot. Hey, sis, thank you for showing up. But she says, becoming means realizing that all my past experiences led me to where I am today. Absolutely.
Yes.
I believe it gets greater later. I've learned so much that I can take with my future self.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
That's
mean,
good.
I love it. I just think becoming is, I mean, you ladies have encapsulated the thought so much, but it's just, I think it's also coming into your authenticity, right? And
Mhm.
so,
Mhm.
um, you said it, Nikila, you said it, Raylan, like when we're younger, sometimes we want to emulate, we don't want to accept
Mm-hmm.
that this is the season of life we're in. And thinking about that, I don't know if you guys seen The Best Man too, like the Best Man that they did more recently, like in the last 5 years. And there is a scene there where one of the characters, and the character is going to, actually it was the Best Man 3, because I think they've made at least three Best Mans. But there
Mhm.
was a scene where the girl on there, she's looking, they're older, so she's looking back at a younger lady who um pretty much has taken her spot, right? So she's older. There's a young lady, she was a reporter or something of that nature, and she's looking at a younger version of herself that taking her spot. And she's going through seeing this younger lady who then came and pretty much usurped her spot, her spotlight, her shine, or whatever. She
Mhm.
ain't the it girl no more because she's older. And so many women, more than we are willing to acknowledge or realize, often go through that kind of mental block as they get older.
Mhm.
And I think there's something so beautiful when you come to a space and a place where you say, hey, no, I ain't 20 no more. I ain't 30 no more. I can't compete with, I'm no
Mhm.
longer the hot chick in the spot. Okay. If I go somewhere now, I'm probably amongst I'm the auntie now.
Yeah.
I am now the auntie. There was a season in my life when I used to, and I say this even in the workplace, there was a point in time where I was the young woman, the young
Mhm.
supervisor, the young manager, managing all these older people. Now I'm the auntie. I'm the one that people knock on the door and be like, "Can I talk to you?"
Mhm.
Mhm.
And there's something beautiful about embracing that era of life
Yes.
because we have something in this era, in this season, that we are commissioned, that we are purposed to be able to teach the
That's
younger
right.
generation
That's
of
right.
women.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So true.
So,
Namia, can I say one more thing in
yeah,
regards to your becoming? Even like as a wife, I think that's a whole nother dynamic. But as a wife, you definitely have to find your voice. And that's why I speak highly on that because sometimes we lose ourselves. With me being a politician's wife, I was focused so much on what he wanted to do, what he needed to do, who he was becoming. And not that I didn't reach milestones or goals and that type of thing, but I put him, where I put him where he needed to be, but forgetting
yeah,
about myself in the process.
yeah,
So
Mhm.
yeah,
sometimes, you lose your voice, you have to discover who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you want to do, what you don't want to do as you are becoming who you are
yeah.
individually for yourself. So, wives, that's a whole nother dynamic, a whole nother show,
Yeah, but it's
Yes,
but
it
important to the
is.
it's
conversation.
very important. Hmm.
Yeah, can I say just to add to that wife section? That's so true. And I'll say on the flip side, when me and him got together, we got a history like Namia, y'all old things and got back reconnected. That's
Yeah,
our
yeah,
story in a nutshell. And so when he found me, that's when the storm hit. And I lost my way, and so I lost who I thought, who I was during that time, and it was his voice really that pulled me back to say, you trying to fit into this mold of who you think I want a wife to be. You think that this,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not even what I want. And so
Mm-hmm.
I want who you are and not who you trying to make yourself up to be. And so it was his voice that called me out of the darkness and like created that safe space to say it's okay to figure it out. Like I can mess up and then do something weird and like that's not who I want to be. But he's so comforting that I can have that safe space to fall and know I'ma still be okay. You know what I mean? And to really
That's
discover
good.
myself. So
yeah, and that's so important. Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
wife aspect of this is definitely important to this discussion because I'm sure there's other wives in the audience or those who have been wives. It's so easy to lose ourselves, especially when you get
Right.
married young.
yeah.
This is no shade to women who got married younger because I know you've been married a very long time, 20 plus years,
Mm-hmm.
Nicole. I know Cheryl, at one time you were married very young. You were married to
Hmm.
your husband for 20 plus years. But I say for me, it was a blessing that I waited until my 40s to get married
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
because it helped me. One of my biggest fears before getting married was that I would lose myself, my
Mhm.
identity, who I was to marriage. And just like you, Nikila, my husband helped me to like, no, I ain't looking for no like
Yeah.
all these traditional ideas of what a wife was supposed to be. And I thought that everything that I had accomplished up until this point, like now I gotta say that now I gotta become a housewife. I gotta walk around in the moo and shuffle my feet.
Yeah.
But he who he is as a man showed me again, No, I can still walk in my high heels, and I can still
Yeah.
do my thing, and I can still have
You
girl
better.
nights.
And the
Now,
house is empty, girl. Come on now. I was
listen,
missing
I
out
can
on good
still
gold
have
stuff right here.
and I don't have to lose myself to marriage, but I do
Mhm.
know the flip side of that is hard for some women because they do lose themselves.
Yeah.
But let me say something. You don't lose yourself because you don't know who you are. Getting married. I got
Yeah,
married at 25. I
Yeah.
yeah,
didn't know who I was then.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
didn't really know who I was until my 40s. I
Hmm.
mean,
yeah, yeah,
surprisingly, but not really. I didn't know
yeah,
who I was. So I stepped into who I was in my 40s. I would say maybe about 45. So at
Yeah.
25, I didn't know who I was. So I'm just excited because I'm married. I'm a wife and let me help him because this is what he wants. And it
We
was
was
all about him.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
it. So
Hmm.
I didn't know
yeah,
who I was, but
yeah.
We
I'm
was losing
grateful
ourselves to
that
raggedy men. At least you was losing yourself to a husband that can at least
Yes,
wrap you back
girl.
in. Yeah. We was
Me
just
and Nikila
throwing
had
it
some
away back in the
ragadies, baby.
day. Yeah. We were just throwing it away. Just
Just give them to
not
some
no more though.
unworthy. Yeah,
Hilarious.
I
Feel
Yeah.
a little bit better now because I've never been married. So I'm gonna be like, take it or leave it. I'm sorry.
yes, yes,
Hey.
yes.
You
And
want
you
it? Hey, take it
do.
or leave it.
Yes,
I
and
ain't
that's
Yes.
my
disagreeing at
benefit
this
to
point.
getting married older. Like, there's this, and we're going to talk about the stereotypes too. This would be a good transition. But there's this stereotype that if you don't get married young, that if you
mm-hmm,
wait to get married, that you're old, you're used up, you're
mm-hmm,
no good, nobody
No,
wants you. And
yeah,
no.
baby, listen, let me tell you, I love my husband to death. Lord knows I love him. But even if I wasn't married, it would not be hard out here for me. Okay.
Mhm.
Because these
Fact.
men are coming after older women
Oh
mm-hmm,
at,
yeah.
at rates. They
They
mm-hmm,
want women that cook. They want women that have traditional values. They want women, and it's not as hard out here as some men think it is for
mm-hmm.
us as women who are 40 plus,
That's
50
right.
plus. It gets a little harder. Sometimes it gets a little, but it's not hard out here.
No,
Mm-hmm.
this is your time to shine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's your time
Okay.
to shine.
We
It
still
is
got it, ladies. We still
right.
got it.
Yeah.
You still because I didn't come into my sexy. I feel like I didn't come into my sexy until I turned 40. Like I felt the
Mm,
sexiest I ever
mm,
did in life. It
come
was
on
like when
now.
40 hit, I was like, ooh, ooh. I don't know if it was the perimenopause or what. I don't know if it was my hormones acting up, but I was just like, ooh, I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling myself.
Yeah. I'm
So,
trying to find her now. That's what I'm looking
you trying
for.
to find her.
I'm trying to find.
yes,
I had her in my 20s. I was hot back in my 20s. I
Dang.
was some. You couldn't tell me nothing. But now, life was life, and then. But
yes,
that's where I'm trying to find. Like, and I'm coming into that now. It's like,
yes,
okay, I'm sexy. Wait a minute, hold on.
yes.
Extra weight and all. That's just having to learn how to deal with it. You better
You better put
figure
that
out what
girdle
works
on
and
and
keep
strap it
going.
down. See what it do, baby.
Hey, he loved it. It was him
Yes,
love. He was like, "Girl, bye." Hey, listen, that thing ain't bothering me.
yes,
So, but yeah, it's something to find that sexy too in this age, and to be comfortable with it because it's okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
It's recommended. Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, let's talk about those stereotypes. What stereotypes have you ladies heard around aging in terms of specifically us for Black women? What are the stereotypes, and also for my audience, what are the stereotypes that you often have heard, seen, social media, in the media, social societal standards? What are stereotypes that you feel like we often have to combat against as it relates to getting older?
Hmm.
It's,
Mine is hilarious, but who wants to go first?
yeah, I say mine is too. So go ahead, somebody. You come back to our shenanigans in a
Okay.
minute. Go
Well, for
ahead.
me, one that I've heard was you're not going to always look good for your man because there will always be younger women that'll turn his head faster. My thing is they can turn his head, but he gonna turn it right back. Like you can look, but that's fine. But you're gonna turn it right back because I'm gonna give you something to look at.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about that stereotype, but it's hilarious, for it to be said aloud. Like really. So yeah.
yeah,
I'm not worried about
yeah,
the young folks.
yeah. I think that's the number one. I think it's the
Hmm.
number one stereotype that I often hear that, man, even just today, okay,
Mhm.
I made a post about Shannon Sharp's ass, okay, and
Oh Lord.
and these older men don't realize that they're prey to these younger women.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And then, some brothers come on and they comment and say, you just don't realize that men like younger women. Okay, that's your
Okay.
thing. If that's your thing, um, but that that is such a stereotype that's steeped, I think, in Eurocentric ideology and beliefs, especially when it comes to us as Black
Mhm.
women, that older women over a certain age are not pretty, they're not beautiful, they're not sexy,
Mhm.
and that's such as some of the baddest women that I know.
Mhm.
Yes.
Again, that's the Conte is an exhibit
I was
A.
about to say yes.
Mhm.
Some
Come
of the
on.
baddest women I know,
I gotta look her up on Facebook. That's weird.
baby,
I'm like,
listen.
who is she?
You gotta look at them
She
50th
just had that
birthday
photo
pictures
shoot.
that
You hear
Conte
me?
put out there.
Now I gotta go
Bad.
stalk her online.
She is inspiration. That's how a
Mhm.
50-year-old
Uh,
supposed to look. Some of the
Yeah.
baddest women I know are older women.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I want to say this. Yesterday, um, a guy was flirting with me. I saw him flirting. I just ignored him. So when I backed out of the parking space, he rolled his window down, and I said, "Now you all that time you watched me walk from here to here, and you were scared to say something because you know I'm fine." And he was like,
Yes.
he said, "You are fine." He said, "You wifey material." I said, "I know, boo," and I rolled the window up and I pulled on off because he wasn't. But I have been told, by some guys that believe this theory that you know, you're gonna be washed up. Don't nobody want no 50-year-olds. We want the 40-year-olds. We want the
Mhm.
30-year-olds because they gonna take care of us. And I said they gonna take care of you and gonna take all your money.
They gonna take
Period.
all you gonna be like Shannon Sharp's ass.
They gonna take your coins and you're gonna be looking like what?
Mhm.
I wanna
Yep.
they don't want to be a caregiver at 30.
Yeah.
Right. Fellas, you better
One
get you
thing.
a woman that know the sign of strokes.
Come on now.
That,
You better get you a woman that know when that left side ain't looking right.
I wasn't ready for that one.
say y'all gonna be winning with a whole bunch of cats. And I'm like, y'all gonna be men with a whole bunch of dogs. Dog is that's a lie. The devil is a lie.
Yes. Yes. What other stereotypes? Latanya says the stereotype that life over 50 is time to sit down and watch your grandchildren. Yeah.
No.
Mm,
Mm-mm.
Listen,
mm, mm.
I got some close sister girls that they gonna watch the grandchildren for about a good hour. But you
Hey,
you
we
ain't leaving
good
them
for
grandchildren with them all mm-mm.
we
Mm-mm.
raggedy grandparents over my
Well,
way.
listen, this
We
is
we
a
got
different generation of grandmamas, okay?
we babysitting if you going to school or going to work. Other than that, you better find somebody else to do it because we in these streets. we are, me and my husband are for the streets this summer.
Yes, yes.
We are
We
for the
keep it
streets.
busy around here, okay? If there's a house party, a good girls'
Yes.
night out in
That's
the
Yeah,
good.
shy, something, call
we
me.
ain't
I'm down.
available.
I told my kids, give me time to live my life. Don't pop
Yes,
out with no grandkids for me. Not yet.
Hmm.
yes,
Mm-mm.
yes.
Hey, we told y'all how to. I'm very open. You know me. I didn't told y'all how not to do it, and you
Mm.
did it anyway. That means this is a life you chose. I'm done. So we about to hit these streets.
Yes.
Peace and
Listen, Don
blessings. That's
said
all I
streets
got.
all summer. Streets all
Prayers
summer.
and
We in
well
these
wishes.
streets all summer.
Yes.
Outside. Listen, there's a time for me to be in my moo planting my flowers on the back
Come
patio.
on
There's
now.
a time for me to be in these streets.
Come on
Listen.
now.
Oh my
What other
goodness.
stereotypes? What other things that you have heard about women aging at this point in our lives that you
They're gonna
can?
be
I know. For me, one thing I've noticed they always say that we're tired and we washed up like you said. But one thing
Mhm.
I have noticed, even when I'm out, we have a glow about ourselves at this point
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
And when we're glowing, we're glowing. I don't
Mhm.
see
Yeah.
that in that younger generation. But right now, I love it. When I'm Nicole, I notice Cheryl, Nicole, all you ladies, the glow. I will
Yeah.
say it in a minute, girl. You glowing?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And
And
that's
look at her face
that
now,
Look at
mm,
it
glowing.
glowing.
glowing. And that's
Yes.
just that's that sign of peace and happiness, and that
Mhm.
you're enjoying life at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you know what? You didn't learn what you need to learn.
Woo.
You know, Nikita said it best in our young, we made some raggedy choices. You make bad
Yeah.
choices.
Mhm.
You have learned what you needed to learn. You have healed. And I
Yeah.
think that's so important that you heal through your younger experiences.
Mhm.
We are human, right? And sometimes as younger women, we do make choices out of naivete, out of not knowing any better, out of trauma. And that's a whole topic within itself that I could probably go on and on and on. The Black women, whether we acknowledge it or not, we have traumas that are unique to us as Black women. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for most of us, if not all of us, we are healing through something or we have healed through
Yeah.
something. And so we have
Yeah.
learned the lessons that needed to be learned. And we have come to a place of acceptance, resilience, fortitude. And now we're just in that phase of life where we just want, like you said, Ray, you just want peace.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
That's
that
so
peace
true.
brings glow.
Yes.
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 Mhm.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for some audience participation. Okay. Um, what has been the challenging, and I'm gonna type this in. What has been the challenging parts of aging? What has been, because we got to be real, okay? Because this becoming does come with some challenging. So, what has been the challenging part of becoming or getting older for you?
Can I can I go and
Yeah,
say
come on. Yeah, anybody jump
I
in.
I wish I would have taken better care of my body.
Mm.
I wish I'd have taken my vitamins. I wish I would have exercised more. I wish I had skipped some wine and some alcohol and so
Yeah,
I think that's my hardest part right now is breaking those bad habits and trying to get myself back on track
yeah,
physically because it just so much that went downhill. I got sick like earlier, about 5 years ago. Not so much as sick, but just down. And
yeah,
so gained weight and all that stuff. And now I'm just like, man, my
yeah.
knees and my back. And, I just wish I would
Woo.
have taken better care. My knees were gonna be gone from the 99 and the 2000s anyway. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
they were gonna be gone from that anyway. But a little bit of joint juice would have helped out a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's so good that you say that because Damisha says the weight gain,
Mm.
okay, and that often comes with the menopause, the perimenopause that we're facing. Listen, I think that was probably the most difficult because through my and even when you try to take care of your body, right? And like you said, less alcohol, less because I love a good glass of wine, child, okay? But for me, it's like once I hit those 40s and then perimenopause kicked in and my stomach started doing its own thing, I'm like, oh no, Jesus. Like, because that was new for me because I had always been active in my
Yeah.
Mhm.
20s and my
Mhm.
30s. And again, this is a whole nother topic, and I had a whole podcast centered around this. But perimenopause did some things to me that I did not imagine that it would do. And I probably had every symptom that you can think of: anxiety, panic attacks, brain
Yeah.
Mhm.
fog, to the point that I was doing things and I'm not gonna say I'm ashamed of this because it comes with it. I was doing things like leaving my house and forgetting lower the garage door
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and thinking, did I lower the garage door? Did I turn off
And you
the
got to go back and do it and check because you don't want to be crazy and then you leave.
girl? Just
It's not
like,
just me.
and that was probably the one of the most difficult parts of me. As sexy as I felt, there was still this other side that started kicking my butt, and that was
Yeah.
perimenopause.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
other challenges? Mayor says my knees, her knees start acting up on
Woo!
her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Lord.
The hormonal changes started
Mhm.
acting up. Drea says the challenging part of getting older for me is the weight gain. It was very difficult. I can eat healthy and nothing changes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
combating against those hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say this hair loss.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Them edges. Them
Man,
edges start. You're like, wait a minute, what happened to my edges,
Oh
Jesus?
my
Yeah.
Lord.
stop brushing like, please, like stimulate these follicles. Let's get this back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to make the products. I used to be in business doing that. And I'm like, I'm struggling. That's why I got these braids now. I ain't got this hair just falling out for no good reason, even if you're
Mhm.
doing everything you used to do. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10 so far. No, I'm just playing.
So Angel says my mind saying you could do this, that, this, and that, but my body saying, hold
Nope.
on, you better sit down somewhere. Yeah.
Oh,
Listen.
that's what I'm dealing with that. Oh my God.
Yes,
Because
I used to do two a days.
ooh, I
Mm.
Two
want
a
to get
days
up
in the
and move
gym.
around. Mm, mm, mm.
Now
My
I'll be
sister
happy to
talked.
get one day in, okay?
Oh, see
And
that.
I'm still pretty consistent, but some days it's a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was you
My
gonna say,
sister was.
Nicole?
My sister talked about the knees, and yeah, so we'll just talk about that because when I turned 46 in July, that same month, my knees start getting fluid and acting crazy. And I'm like, what in the world? So it was like happy birthday for me. So I've been dealing with that ever since. And things that I really couldn't, things that I used to be able to do, stay on the dance floor all night. I have to do things in moderation now. So that's one challenging thing for me because I
Yeah.
can't just stay out there. I love the slides and all that. I go do a slide like, oh, let me go sit down now. I'm gonna make it cute, but then I'm gonna ease and sit myself
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
I get sweat too hard.
Yes, but that took me through so many changes, like as far as grief and stress and worry and fear, and because it just happened like all of a sudden, as soon as I turned 46, like I said, and I'm like, this can't be life. Is this what I'm gonna be dealing with? And is my body gonna start breaking down on me? So that
Mhm.
listen, my therapist, I thank God for her because
Yeah.
I was going crazy, dealing with that. That brings about anxiety and other things because your health is you start to feel different things. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't used to that. I didn't like that. So it took me through something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
whew,
it could mentally mess with you when your
yes.
body starts doing things that it has
Mm-hmm.
never done,
Mm-hmm.
never done
Mhm.
before. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So,
Don says yes, the thinning hair. Ruth
mm,
said my bone needs some oil. My bone needs oil.
Mhm.
Um,
mm.
Maya says CRS gets worse. Can't remember shit. Can't remember nothing, baby. I
That's
got to
true.
write it down and pull it in
Yep.
the calendar. I got to put it on my notes
Yes.
now.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
If it's
Yep.
not on the
absolutely.
calendar, it's not happening.
It ain't
Mm,
happening.
If it ain't
Nope.
on my calendar, it didn't get said.
uh,
I do it.
ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's something.
So the alternative to that is and we probably have already said it. What's the best part of getting older or becoming? What are the best parts? Well, we know the stereotypes. We old.
Hmm.
We ain't worth this no more. Or we ain't the beauty. Beauty with sagging with this with that. All that comes with um age, and that's probably also a reason why the 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 BBL numbers and the cosmetic surgeries have gone up. Um, but there is a beautiful side to becoming. So what would you say is the rewarding side of becoming?
I would say, for me, just letting go of the old Cheryl and just embracing the new Cheryl.
Yeah.
New Cheryl D is like the bomb. You know, I can actually brag on her without feeling guilty.
Yeah.
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 You know, I can
Yeah.
actually brag on her without feeling like, oh, she thinks she all of that. Well, I am.
Mhm.
I'm
You
50,
are.
50
Yeah.
cents.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
something.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
and I say that in all humility, you know, because we're taught that, you know, we can't talk about ourselves. We can't brag on our accomplishments. I'm happy for all of the things that I've gone through, all of my journey, all of the accolades, all of that. I'm ecstatic about it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So the old Cheryl would be like, oh, I'm just gonna be this little humble little girl. I ain't gonna tell nobody. And now I'm just like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, you see me?
You
Mhm.
see me?
You see,
Yeah.
you see me, girl. And I still
Listen.
got it.
Yes, and the awesome part is the younger ones come through and see you see me, girl. Yeah,
Mhm.
just get older. Just as my grandma say.
Keep living.
Right.
Yeah, keep on living. Yeah, keep on living. Yes,
Yes.
So embrace
ladies. What
my
else?
yeah.
I was.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
okay.
Sorry.
Nope, you go ahead.
I was say for me it's I don't have to care. I don't have to give a fuck. That's I ain't gonna say it, but I don't have to like who gonna check me? Like I really feel like most
Right.
days who is gonna check me? And I was like you, Miss Cheryl, so humble. Oh my God, let me just play to the back. But God is like, you ain't doing me no favors back here. Yo,
Mhm.
get yourself to the front because I done made you way too dope. And who gonna check you? So like I got this. It's a arrogant. I use the word arrogance, but it's not really. I have this arrogance about myself now. Like if I'm out with my husband, who gonna check me? Y'all not gonna do nothing because he will tear this city up for me.
Baby.
And then in
Yes.
heaven, who gonna check me? Because God said He got my back. So you ain't about to do nothing. So like, I feel like I'm in this bubble in this age to where like who gonna check me, and I just got this safe space to just grow and be and move about and just
Mhm.
I just feel so dope right now, Miss Cheryl. Like I feel you. Like I just feel so dope right now, and I'm just ready for it to all
Mhm.
come out. And I
It
just
is.
because what it comes with getting older. Like you just don't have to care what
Yeah.
Yes.
people think anymore. And
Yeah.
so
Yes.
I like that.
And
There's
it's
Mhm.
this
more to that. Like
meme.
it gets better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets better. It really does. There's this meme that I posted and it came up in my memories recently that said, I'm not checkable.
Mm.
You
Period.
can't
I
check me
need
about
that.
shit,
Can't check.
Mm.
okay? You can come and have a conversation with me. We can have a conversation, but I'm not checkable. You're not checking me at
Mm.
48, okay?
Mm-mm.
That's
Who gonna
good.
check me?
That
Speak
ain't
Yeah,
to my husband. That's all I say. Just speak to my husband. You want to talk to
yeah,
somebody? You want to tussle? He like to tussle.
right.
I'm not tussling with nobody.
you like the hard.
He likes to argue. I don't.
Yes,
I know.
yes,
For me, a lot of people, when you say the word "I'm bothered," some people don't like that word. But to me, that's real. It's real to
Mm.
me. Unbothered. The feeling of being unbothered by anything and anyone right now
yes.
is so real to me.
It's so
Um,
freeing.
and
Yeah.
those that know, I will do this in a heartbeat.
Oh yes, yes.
And
You
don't
you
care
you
about it.
told us very perfectly at your 50th.
But it's more like I'm at a point I'm not gonna argue with you. Like you said, I'm gonna say, okay, whatever. Yeah,
Hmm.
okay. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm not crying over spilled milk. It is what it is. I'm unbothered.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I that feeling alone is embraceable. I love it. I,
Yeah.
I love it. And I would tell a person in a heartbeat, go on about your business.
On back to
Oh,
business, baby.
If I
I'm
didn't have
not
ministry, I'd
checkable.
flip more
You're
people
not
off.
getting that old version of me.
If people didn't know me as a minister, I'd flip more people off. I'd probably cuss more
Mhm.
people out too, but that's
Me
probably
too.
a
Me
conversation for
too,
another
sister.
day.
Sorry.
I don't even say I'm a minister. I
I'm
say,
rowdy in my perimenopause is bringing upon the rowdy. I'm just
Baby, yes.
rowdy.
Listen, that's a symptom. Rage. You can rage folk.
I'm just like,
Ooh.
"Urgh."
Hey, that the rowdy me was my 40s. My 30s was
Okay.
40s. That was the
Uh,
rowdy version. This version right here, this 50 is like, do not want a reaction, go somewhere else with it. Go.
right.
Mm.
So you're not getting it out of
Yeah.
me.
I
I'm
Yes.
that's
love
worth
it.
my
funny.
time.
Listen, Dime says not caring what anyone else thinks and just loving yourself at this
Mhm.
age.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Dream
absolutely.
Yes.
says the best part of getting older is I'm alive. Life is so
Mhm.
short. We all
Mm-hmm.
always say it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so true. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Ruth said, "You better celebrate who you are and how far you've come. No one can love me better than how much I love me."
Period.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Markeisha says, "Unbothered, baby. I'm unbothered." Yes. Listen, you know what? Oh, and this is a whole nother conversation that I'm gonna bring to high heels and lipstick conversation. One of the things that that I knew that I was getting older, when I knew that, sometimes you realize that people who were there in one season of your life woo,
Mm-hmm.
were not supposed to be there in this season of life.
Yes.
Mhm.
They were not
Mm-hmm.
meant to come to this season of life. That may be friends. Most times it is friends.
Yes.
That may be family. That could be anybody. They were not, and you come to a place where you accept that their season has ended.
Yep.
Seasons have ended. And you have to see that as God's doing, that He ended that season for a reason. They were not meant for that season of life, and that He has moved you to a space and a place where that person, that thing, it could be behavior, that person, that thing, that place just no longer fits where God is trying to take you. And I think
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
the beauty of becoming is understanding that God is taking you to a different place where you're not checkable, where you have peace, where
Yeah.
you're unbothered,
Mhm.
where you just embrace a whole new season of life. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rona
That's deep.
says letting go of people, places, and things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We gotta let go. We
Yep.
we, we
Yeah.
gotta let go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
gotta let go that our titties don't sit up like that no more.
God.
Okay? We gotta let it go, ladies. It's already
Right.
It's a
unless you
hard pill to
decide to go get
swallow,
you a
but
breast lift, which is completely okay. Okay, if you want to go get you a little breast lift in your older age, it's okay. But if you don't, you gotta let go of the fact that your titties don't sit up, and you may need some extra support in your bra.
Wow.
Now, can I say a spiritual side to that?
Yes, yes, yes.
So the letting go of people, places, and things, they're kind of familiar spirits. And if
Mhm.
you look up in your Bible, and the Bible app has a really good 3-day devotional about familiar spirits, and they're really what we call generational curses in essence, right? It's just
Yes,
those patterns and behaviors, and once you start to understand what those really are, you can see how they've really been patterning your life and really been guiding your life
yes,
unintentionally. And familiar spirits, we think it's good, but it's really not. It's really like assignments like by spirits that
Mhm.
have set out to really to understand you and study you, and they keep you down. And so when
Mhm.
we keep going through cycles over and over and over again, those are really like familiar spirits. And so like with anything, you have to learn how to start combating those things, like asking yourself, why am I still attached to these type of people, places, and things? Why do I
Yeah.
still have these certain behaviors even in my old age? And then really that's how we start to really attack. We don't just talk about it, but now we can really
Mhm.
be about it, and we can change those behaviors and really let that stuff go. And
yes,
just from a spiritual standpoint, that's where a lot of that comes from, is those familiar spirits that they
yeah,
just dress up in different, they look different,
Mhm.
sound different, but at the end of the day they keep us in that same cycle. And
Yeah.
so really in this age, being able to be clear to break that cycle is I think what a lot of
yeah.
us are seeing too.
That's
Mm.
so true. That's so
That's
true
good.
because one thing we haven't touched on a lot in letting the go of the people, places, things, the generational, like you said, the generational kind of cycle, the generational curse, the generational toxicity
Mhm.
Mhm.
that we keep ourselves in. And it's so important that as you find yourself growing out of that, that you accept that those things they can't come with you,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Or
I
in
think
order
that
for you as a woman that's becoming to embrace wisdom, to
Mhm.
embrace peace, to embrace this next phase of life, and every phase of life I have learned is going to as you latch on to something new, it's going to require releasing something,
Something else,
right?
yeah.
Mhm. That's
Right.
powerful.
So, Nikila, you can probably agree. We both got married older in life. And
Mhm.
so, with latching on to marriage, it required us to let some things go.
Yeah.
One of my favorite preachers right now, he's a viral, is Anthony Phillips.
Mhm.
And he, the 2819 preacher out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I was listening to him one night, and girl, he sent me into like a praise break, a tizzy. But one of the things that he was just saying is, you, even as you, and I thought about it in terms of getting older and becoming, but one of the things that he was talking about is Paul in prison and writing his letter to the church from, the church at Philippi, and just writing about, letting go of the form of things and pressing
Mhm.
on towards the mark. And one of the things that he said is that sometimes you got to let go of your former successes. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I know you was bad and had it going on in your 20s, in your 30s. I know that you accomplished all of this and all of that, but with every season, with where God is taking you, you're gonna have to learn to let go of, like Rona said, some
That
people,
highlight reel.
places, and
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And even what you thought of as success, your success in your 20s and your 30s will look different, or you may have to let go as you
Mhm.
press on towards your 40s, your 50s, your
Mhm.
60s.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good.
I was
Mhm.
thinking Love and Basketball when she be was that when she had her hand up in the air
Yep.
and then she got in trouble and God says that to me. He said, "You still sitting there with your hand up in the air, girl? That was when you was 25. You what you done? What have you done recently?
Mm.
Yes,
You
Oh,
yes.
can't
that's
keep living
good.
off that highlight reel."
That's
Absolutely,
good.
absolutely. So, ladies, listen. Okay, so we're kind of winding this conversation. It's been a good conversation. And I want to talk a little bit about the responsibility we as women who are becoming have to the younger generation of women. And I
Mhm.
think this is a very important part of the discussion, because I'm not coming down on Gen Z, um, and our younger ladies, but I see so much that grieves my spirit. Okay.
Mhm.
And I see a lot on social media. I see the gender wars. I see how a lot of younger ladies have these very bitter attitudes and thoughts about the opposite sex. Marriage is not a thing anymore. Relationships are
Mhm.
not a thing. And that's not to say that you have to be married to live life to the fullest, because you don't. I have lived both lives. I was single longer than I've been married. And so I know both sides. And I live as a single woman, I live life to the fullest. I traveled,
Yeah.
I got my education, I did all of these things. And so I'm not saying that you have to be married to live a blessed or full life. Um, but there's just so much, it's so different. I would just say that. It's so
Mhm.
the younger generation of women are so different from us. I really feel like Gen X, and which is our generation, we are probably Gen X and probably older millennials. We are the last generation of what I would say is traditional
Mhm.
in some senses, because we were taught by baby boomers, we were taught by the veterans generation, and they taught us a lot of traditional values. But do you think that we have a responsibility to the younger generation of women? And if so, how so? What is our responsibility? What should we be teaching the younger generation of women currently, you think?
I would say, first of all, we have to teach them, or they have to be coachable and teachable.
Mhm.
And a lot of them have a brick wall up feeling like, I know this, you can't tell me anything, and I'll bump my head on my own. So I
Mhm.
do feel that the young generation has to be coachable and teachable in order for us to be able to get through to them. And we also have to understand that this generation is completely different. Whereas we were easy, I feel like we were easy to talk to. You say something and it's like, oh, okay, I registered instantly, we straighten up. But now you have to know how to come to them. You have to know how to or what to say to them, or you it's all about your verb and how you communicate with them. They're just different. And
Yeah.
me having the young generation and being able to try and reach my own is so different than even, my background, my growing up. And it's just different. So
Yeah.
they're not as receptive as we would desire for them to be. And we have to know and ask God to lead us and give us the
On how.
words to say that they would be able to receive, because their receiving part is not very, they don't
Yeah.
really receive what we say as easy as we accepted it.
Yeah. And I think part of what we miss with the younger generation, each generation was shaped and molded by social, economic, political. Every generation was shaped by something different. So our
Mhm.
generation of ladies here, what were we shaped by? We were shaped by, I would say, the Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton
Religion.
era,
Mhm.
right? And so we were the generation that ushered in the internet and social media and things of that nature,
Mhm.
and technology. Most of us remember when you had to get up and go turn the TV by twisting the dial.
Yes.
Most of us remember life before cell phones. Most of us
Mhm.
remember
Mhm.
life before internet. And so our purview, our prism is shaped by that social
Mhm.
construct, where this
Mhm.
younger generation is much different. Not only are we're parents, we're grandparents, but what we, our younger people, they're competing with our voices and the voices of influencers on social
Oh,
media
yes.
that are
Yes.
much louder often
Yes.
Yeah.
than ours. Yeah.
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 So that's a
That's
lot
hard.
to combat through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? What should we, what could we, what responsibility do we have to the younger generation of women?
So for me, I've been a mentor to the younger generation probably almost over 20 years now. I had
Yeah.
my own youth foundation, so I kind of started it back then. But for me, I've always said you have to be an example to this younger generation. One or
Yeah.
two things they're going to learn from the example or from their own experiences. So I try to mentor them and talk to them and let them know I'm always here for them. Be supportive regardless, especially when I had my two daughters, prime examples. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they don't. I'm there for them
Yeah.
regardless. I love them to death. I love their
Mhm.
friends to death, but I also want to be that example as a mother, as a entrepreneur, as that that aging black woman that's out there. So I think for them, it's just more being there for them, whether they're going to listen or not. Eventually, they'll come to you.
Mhm.
They may learn the easy, as my mom always said, you're going to either learn the hard way or the easy way. Which one
Yeah.
Yeah.
you go? It's up to you. So
Yeah.
just to be there and be that example and kind of guide them as a guide towards the future.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I I say I'm a mother of four daughters, and so they're all different.
Oh, bless you.
And at,
I just have two and
Lord.
it was rough.
yeah, we got four, and we got one more will be over 21. So they're all adults, and so in a essence, and so what I had to learn is one is that they don't want to necessarily be like us. And sometimes when I'm giving them advice, I'm trying to make them be like me, but that's
Yeah.
Mhm.
not who they want to be. And so I
Yeah.
try to be there, like you said, Ray, if they need the advice, I try to be there and I try to be a good example. But I feel like it's a really thin line of us telling girls of who they should be and how they should be and what they should think. And that's because that's what was done to us. And
Yeah.
so I think that, like, I don't feel like somebody should tell Meg to put clothes on. That's who she is. That's what she does. That's the life she wants to live. That's her prerogative. And I think it's important to let them, in the essence, be who they want to be, and then give them the space to say, that's not who I want to be now.
Yeah.
My girl's the one that went from straight goth, dark,
Mhm.
heavy metal music, go figure, all the way to I'm getting her married next month, and she's having a whimsical fairy tale marriage, and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Mhm.
and so I didn't have to force that. I didn't have
Yeah.
to. I just gave her the space over time because nobody
Yeah.
gave me the space over time to let me figure out who I wanted to be. They just
Yeah.
told me who I should be and told me how I should be, and that's what I did. And so now here I'm in my 40s trying to figure out who I want to become. And now when I
Yeah.
look at my daughter who is she's had that chance to kind of transition. And now she's this
Right.
beautiful butterfly, and I didn't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I
Right.
do think that we should teach them and show them, but I also think that one, they have to come to us and say, "Hey, I want to be different," or "Hey,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like your
Right.
style." You know what I mean? Like your
Yeah.
daughter probably do. I like that. Mommy, show me more. You know what I'm saying? Or auntie, show me more. But I think it's just such a fine line that I'm still trying to find and
Yeah.
posing
It's
those
allow.
beliefs versus.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
allowing them to have their own identity is key. That what you just said, that is true. But at the same time, okay, I didn't want to be like my mom either.
Yeah.
But here I am.
Yeah.
Here we are.
You know what I mean? And I know they don't they're totally, my two daughters are totally opposite of each other. However, they, like you said, they grew up with their own identities. I allow them that space, but at the same time they know I'm here for them if they
Yeah.
need me. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bible says that they won't depart from when they're older. They won't depart. That
Old
don't mean
department.
in the middle. It say teach them when they're young, put them on the right path, and then when they older, it
Right.
don't say nothing about that middle section.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo-wee. There is a middle section.
Yeah, they
Cause
gonna be
Yeah,
all
because
over the
they're
place.
becoming too, right? Like they're like
Yes.
we are
Yeah,
becoming. I think about my 20s, girl, just as naive as they
yeah,
Yeah.
baby.
came.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just naive, didn't know right from my left. And we forget that they too have to go through their
Right.
phase of becoming.
Yeah.
And when I think
Mm.
back, like we said earlier, I don't even know if I knew who I was as a woman and what I liked and what I disliked and my sexy and everything, or even that I came into my style until I reached the age of 40.
right.
Hmm.
And so we got to allow them the grace, that same grace. And so Markeisha says we have to learn them and know what gets their attention. A lot of times they just need us to listen, to
Yep.
listen.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I think back to, and this was kind of viral a couple weeks ago, where Felicia Rashad, and y'all know, to us Felicia Rashad is the epitome of grace,
Yeah.
class,
Woo-wee.
lady. Like, if Felicia Rashad walks into the room, it's like that's Felicia Rashad. And she had made a comment, I think, on a podcast about women need to, you know, properly clothe themselves. And most of us can agree,
Yeah.
but she got tore up by these younger women, baby.
Oh yeah.
They told her ain't no old hag in her 70s about to, and I was appalled, like, you don't
That's
say that
Felicia
about
Rashad.
Felicia Rashad.
Listen.
Let's
Woo.
call her. Let's
My
call her
best friend went
stuff.
in.
You do not say that.
But also,
And
like,
yeah, but we grew up in Claire,
yeah,
right? The
yeah,
80s, when black women were growing and grooming, and and black faces were on TV. That's what we saw as the epitome of womanhood. This younger generation see Meg the Stallion, like you said, as the epitome.
yeah. I be trying to tap into my inner Meg, and sometimes I don't want to
Yeah,
be
I do
Felicia
now.
Rashad. I
Listen, my
don't.
knees still
I
work.
want to
Like,
be
I still got
Meg. Like,
begging knees. Yes.
because It's a time and place for everything.
Yes. Yes. So
But
Mia says sometimes we have to come to their levels of understanding, not talk at them, be with them on their comfort zones. We have to listen to seek understanding of them and just not talk at them.
True.
Absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
true.
Mhm.
I think one thing that helped me to understand my daughter in love is just how much and she's a Gen Z, just how much the pandemic had in their mental health,
Yeah.
how much
mhm,
that played a part in just their everyday lives. That was like a total switch and change. It was a life altering event
Mhm.
for them.
yeah,
And again, this younger generation is impacted by something socially and so on and so forth. And so we gotta understand what they're impacted by, what their influences are, and they won't be the same as
Yeah.
ours. Yeah. Any
mhm.
other thoughts in that regard?
I would say, doing what we're doing, having a great podcast, having
Mhm.
systems in place where they would want to listen,
Mhm.
making it fun for them, making it exciting to draw them in. If we're going to go spiritual, winning souls is wise, right? So you got to be wise in how you um, try to draw them in. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes I think somebody said in the chat, you got to meet them where they are sometimes. And some
Yeah.
Mhm.
in our age group, we don't want to hear that because we didn't have to meet nobody. We
Where they were.
listen. it is. But
Nobody met us where we were.
that
They
part,
told us where to be.
it was like A or B. But yeah, just create some systems of mentorship
Yeah.
uh to get them engaged and get them asking questions. Make it exciting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
What lessons have you ladies learned from older women in your lives that has stuck with you to this day, that even though we know that the younger generation of ladies and we have a responsibility to them, even though we know that they were groomed different, they have different social influences, but what are some lessons that you have learned from the older women in your lives, or maybe when you were younger you learned it from your grandmama, your mama, that has stuck with you to this day that you would pass down to the younger generation? For me, I'll tell you, my grandma, I learned a lot. I have always been a lady, a woman that even in my younger age, I have gleaned from older women in my life. A lot
Mhm,
of people have said that I'm an old soul, because I've always had a habit of probably hanging around women
mhm,
who are older from me, and then I've always turned that into an opportunity to learn and to grow. So I try to learn and grow from everybody that's around me. But, of course you learn from your mom. My mama taught me how to treat folks right and to be good to people. My grandma in particular, and I write about her a little bit in my Words of Wisdom, my lipstick affirmation book. Um, she taught me how to season my words with honey. Okay.
mhm.
Because I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
Okay. That has always been it's been my gift, but it's also been my curse. I will tell you what it is, and I don't give a fuck how it come out, okay? You gonna get what I got to say, and you gonna understand what I got to say. But my grandmother, I'm finding more and more, um, that it's so important to season our words. It's all in how you give, it's the delivery.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And, that can make or break a person. You have to always make sure that you're enhancing and maintaining a person's self-esteem, and so seasoning your words with honey will get you a longer way. What
Yeah.
what have you guys learned from, or you ladies learned from the older women in your lives?
I would say for me, kind of similar. Just stand tall and stand your ground. Speak your truth. My mom
Mhm.
used to always say, "Speak your truth. Use your words. Speak your truth. Don't fall back. Don't feel like what you have to say is irrelevant. Speak your
Yeah.
truth. Stand on it."
Yeah.
My mom used to always say that.
Stand on your truth.
Stand on
Absolutely.
your truth and speak it.
What else?
I would say I learned I had to take care of people and compassion. I had with my auntie and my grandma, one would always make sure the family got together and things like that. So I learned a lot of family values and Christmas. And then the other one was just kind. She was just nice, and and so that's just who I always kind of cling to, would gravitate towards is just her kindness. And it was just something about that, and so I think that that's what I've always learned from the older. It's just this level of kindness that
Yeah.
and taking care of people in a sense of service. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. What else, ladies? Julia says, I would tell the younger generation to never lose who you are as a woman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
would say learn who you are, your likes, dislikes, set boundaries, stand on them. You only have one life to live, and that's the only life you can ever control.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say that grace, class,
Class.
Hmm.
and femininity
Yeah.
and being a lady gets you a long way.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not to say that we
Yeah.
can't, we can't have a little ratchet side. My friends know me best. When we go out and have our girls' night, I'm going to dance. I'm going,
Right.
but
Mhm.
ultimately, what I have found that goes a long way is grace,
Mhm.
class, femininity, and being a lady. Listen, it gets you indoors that you thought couldn't be opened.
Mhm.
It gets you out of tickets you thought you was gonna get.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about and I'm being comical, but there is something to be said about a woman that handles life, handles situations
Hmm.
with grace and
Yeah.
with class and
Yeah.
Yeah.
maintains her femininity.
Um.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say class. Class and professionalism. My mom was the probably one of the classiest ladies ever. Um. She could, and I used to joke about it. She can curse you out without using a curse word type of class.
Baby,
To
yeah.
where you're thinking about, did she just curse me out? She did.
I know I'm
She
bleeding,
did.
but I don't know why.
Right. But she did it with such class. It's like I didn't know that existed.
Yeah.
But to always stay classy, and respectful as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Girl, what would you say?
Live your life.
Yes.
That part.
Like, live your life. Don't be so anxious to be in a relationship. Don't be so anxious just to have a man, just to say you got a man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
travel,
enjoy.
enjoy that
Yeah.
great
Enjoy life.
career, have fun. You got time for all of that. It's not
Yeah.
going.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't become a a slave to societal's time constraints, right?
Yeah,
You got to
yeah.
have a baby by this time. You got listen,
Hmm.
women with technology, and I know that there's a whole health disparity for us as women with mortality rates and so on and so forth. But women are having babies later in life. They're getting married later in life. And studies, if you truly research, studies are showing that women that get married later in life often experience more successful marriages
Mhm.
and women are having babies later in life. So it's not
Mhm.
listen, just because we say we in perimenopause and menopause, that don't mean our period stop. As long as you having a period, you can get pregnant.
That's right.
Girl, you better watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, girl.
Right. It may make it a little harder, okay? But that don't mean that it's completely impossible. And so sometimes I think people think that once you reach a certain age, you just can't like your inner parts and stuff stops working. it just starts to decline, but that doesn't mean that you're not it's impossible. Um, and so
Mhm.
yes, live life. Live life. Don't be fearful of the time clock because
Yeah.
for so long we have been made to fear that time clock and we have to do things by a certain time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Listen, Markeisha says don't have a bunch of women around your man,
Uh,
child.
mm.
Look,
We clap. We
Snap fingers.
yes.
Sometimes you can't help it as a wife
yeah,
with the
Yeah.
position they have. So
Yeah, 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 yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
pray and keep it
Listen,
moving.
Man.
listen, my
but not
husband is
intentionally.
yes, my husband's a very sociable being and we kid and we joke all the time. But also I'm not an insecure woman, right? So my
Right.
husband is sociable, he's cool, he's laid back, he
Mhm.
has friends, and I'm completely okay with that. Within reason that they're respectful to me
That
as his
part.
wife. That's
Period.
as
Very
simple as
important.
that, right? So I'm
Right.
never gonna say that my husband can't have female friends, that he can't enjoy social environments with females because he was who he was before we got married. But I
Mhm.
do think it's important that women respect boundaries, especially if you know
Absolutely.
that man is
Yeah.
married. And so
Mhm.
yeah, but Makisha says don't have a bunch of women around your man, don't get knocked over by him before you catch. Don't chase a man, you will know if he wants you. Yeah, that's important. Don't chase men.
Absolutely.
No. They
Yeah.
come for
Yeah.
you.
They
Yeah,
Yeah.
when they want you,
Mhm.
they want you, baby.
You
Yeah,
will
Yeah.
know. Mhm.
yeah.
Shoot, I even say younger age, and I tell my daughters this. They and it's a book I read a long time ago. It was called "Stop Getting Dumped." It was three books that helped me stop getting dumped, and then it was "Think Like a Man" and or "Think Like a Man." I know we all have our thoughts on that, but you got to read it. And it was a he's just not that into you. And one of the key themes on all of those books was, dating in groups, two or three guys. It's not sex with everybody. We used to talk about this in our 20s and 30s. And it's not about having sex with everybody, but it's about getting to know what you like and what you
yeah.
want. And it's about
Mhm.
really seeing what it is that really floats your boat before you make any real commitments. Like you
Right.
Yeah.
said, Miss Cheryl, you got time. Figure
Mhm.
out what you want and what you don't like and really take time
Mhm.
to date and
Yeah.
see what
Yeah.
Yeah.
it ain't what they look like out here on these podcasts. That is not dating. That is not the process. But if you do it intentionally and right,
Right.
shoot, you get you'll know what you want by the time you get at a certain age in your 40s and you ready to settle down and it's just gonna
Yeah.
be so much better,
Yeah.
that
I am
that
such a proponent in, and so people will debate this all day long. People don't believe in this. Men don't believe in. Date them all, girl.
oh
Mhm.
Date them all.
keep your
Mhm.
legs closed. This is what I tell my kids. Keep your
Yeah.
legs closed and your options open. And
Yeah.
if you do
Mhm.
that, you will be a very happy woman when you get
Yeah. You
older
ain't
because
got to
you ain't
open
gonna
your.
settle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dating them all does not mean you're having sex with them all, but date them all. Get to know
Let 'em
what you
Right.
like.
Yes.
Yes.
Get to understand how you want to be treated
Right.
as a woman, right?
Mhm.
In order for you to know and to understand what you like, what turns you on emotionally and mentally, you got to be able to date and know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, date them all. And they ain't gotta know about
They,
them. They ain't gotta
Not
know
a
about
damn
each
one.
other.
Who gonna
That's
Put
check
your
you?
stuff on social media.
that part.
right.
Who gonna check you? Nobody.
But see, they want the attachment already. They're really wanting to get married and settle down. It's like if y'all don't live your life, travel the world, have
Girl.
fun,
Yes,
live your
travel.
life, enjoy your dating time. They don't
Yeah,
get that. It's
yeah,
No, they
frustrating.
don't.
enjoy.
Hmm.
And everything don't go on social media. I would
Yeah.
definitely tell
Period.
the younger generation, everything does not go on social media.
You
That's
tell the
right.
younger and
E-
the older. Come on.
Yeah, every person you date does not
Lesson.
go on social media.
No.
Mhm.
I'm 48. Me and my husband got married when I was what 42.
Hmm.
My husband is the first man that has been broadcasted all over social media, and that's because he's my husband.
Mhm.
So I can
Yeah.
do
Yep.
that. I got a right to do that.
That's right.
I dated plenty. I had plenty free meals, free dates, men that wanted to marry me, and then Plenty, baby. I tell you,
Yeah.
I lived a good single life, but my husband is the first man that I have blasted all over social media. Quit putting
Mhm.
everything on social media.
Agreed.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
don't
have
know if we
yet to
together
put
or
one.
not most days.
Yeah, I have yet to put any of them on there.
Yes,
Nope.
quit
We
putting them
happy,
on
happy,
there.
but you can't tell. You ain't
Exactly.
seen us on there.
Right. Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
even when you're married, don't put everything on social media.
Right.
You know, save some intimate moments for you and your husband, you and yourself.
Amen.
Absolutely.
That's
Yes.
your business. Yes, absolutely.
Learning.
Well, listen, ladies, this has been a very fruitful, a very vibrant conversation. I appreciate you, ladies, so much. I appreciate all of my ladies in the audience that have added to the conversation. I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. We're going on into the 2 hour mark. So I want to end here. Um, I want to end with what we call lipstick affirmations. And what I hope that people got out of tonight is that becoming getting older is not a plague, it's an honor, it's a blessing.
That's right.
It has its ebbs and flows. It comes with things, emotions, and physical and mental aspects, but it's something to be celebrated.
Hmm.
Okay, it's something to be honored. It's something to for us to not fear.
Mhm.
And I think all of our grandmamas and mamas have taught us just keep living. And there's
Yeah.
so much in that just keep living. There's so much that we can say in that just keep living. And I just think that getting older is something to especially for us as Black women is something to be celebrated. And so from each of you, and we will start with Cheryl, if you could share a lipstick affirmation about becoming for your younger self, what would it be? What would you tell your younger self? What affirmation would you give your younger self that you think is important to share with the ladies here on tonight?
I would definitely say to speak life over yourself,
Life.
in your journey, and celebrate becoming. Um, Celebrate where you're going because you
Yeah.
made it this far. And I guess like an affirmation, because I love affirmations, I would say to my younger self, Cheryl, you've always been enough.
Yes.
You've
Mhm.
always been enough, Cheryl. Walk in it.
Always.
Walk in it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I would say to my younger self.
Yes, absolutely. And so the shirt that we have on, that Cheryl and I have on, is called SAG Sisters Aging Gracefully. Again, Cheryl is my Pisces sisters and my entrepreneurial sister. She's also my nail tech. So if you need your nails done, you can check with her. Okay. But Cheryl, tell us a little bit about Sisters Aging Gracefully, where we can find you on social media. If the ladies want one of these teas, these nice teas, Sisters Aging Gracefully, and listen, if they want their nails done, if they want to learn more about your philanthropic endeavors.
Yes, so I'm sure and Sisters Aging Gracefully is something that I believe God gave me because I am aging gracefully. I'm working out, I'm eating better, I'm embracing who I am. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, I'm loving myself. So I wanted to change the narrative of, aging gracefully. It's an elevation. It's
Yeah,
not like you're stuck and you're washed out and all that. We're moving forward and we're moving up higher. And so I want to speak to your higher self, you know, change the narrative. Don't look at yourself like, oh, it's all downhill from here. No, it's we're going upward
yeah,
because we're different. You know, women in our 50s when we talked about it earlier, we have this glow about ourselves, you know, and so that's the elevation. And so that's why I created this brand. And you can find me on all of my social media platforms. I am Cheryl D. You can find me on my website, iamcheryld.com. There you will find uh, my journey of I'm a life coach. I'm an author. I'm a minister. Um, I do nails, you know, and so with all of that, it's about who I am, that beauty enthusiast, that entrepreneur, that God has given me so many talents and so many gifts. And so I want to share them to the world. So if you guys want to purchase this shirt, tag Sisters Aging Gracefully, you can go on my website at iamcheryld.com and get you a shirt. They come in different colors. They come in pink, red, silver, turquoise. And just have fun and rock your shirt and age gracefully and become who God has called you to be, who you know that you are to be. And thank you so much, Namia, for inviting me on your podcast. This has totally been awesome. Thank
Thank you. Thank
Amen.
you. I appreciate you,
you.
sister,
Yeah.
for being here.
Yay.
Listen, I am CherylD.com if you want one of these teas, sisters aging gracefully, because we aging gracefully. Like, we ain't ashamed about being in our 40s and our
No.
50s. Some of us are
Mm-mm.
approaching 60. We ain't ashamed. It is something to be honored and to be celebrated. So be sure to go and check out Cheryl D. Anything that you would need from Cheryl D. You need your nails done. You need um, some
Jewelry.
know what she has coming on next. You need some jewelry. She has beautiful jewelry. All that is on her website, iamcheryld.com. Thank you, sis, for being on this evening. Nicole, my Mary Kay Diva, what
Yeah.
affirmation, what would you share for the ladies on this evening? And where can we find more about what you do and all that good stuff?
Okay, so for my affirmation, I would say never, 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 never water yourself down.
Yes.
And don't ever water yourself down for anyone.
Yeah,
Yes.
Period.
that's
So you got
good.
to always water yourself and never let anyone water you down. Don't water
Yes.
yourself down for anyone. And also, I got tattooed on my arm, I am more than enough. So I
Yes.
tell everybody I am more than enough. I'll just, while someone's talking to me, I'm like just holding my arm out and have them just read it aloud because I want everyone to know they are more than enough. Okay,
Yes.
so that's the affirmation right there. As for my business, you all, I have two. I am owner of the Learning Ladder Childcare, and I'm also a Mary Kay sales director. And you can reach me by my phone number, which is my business line, 219-902-3750. And you can also find me on social media platforms. On Facebook, I'm Nicole Maybon Brewer. And then on Instagram, I'm the Mary Kay Diva 1. Okay. And if you reach out to me using my phone number, I can also give you my website. So, Namia, why am I saying my name? I'm becoming Nicole. But
Yes.
Namia, I want to thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. It was really amazing being on here with you ladies. I had so much fun, and prayerfully, a lot of people have gained so much more insight and are excited about what they heard. And this podcast, you have to keep going, Namia, because we need what you have to offer. So
Thank
take a break,
you.
but come on back.
Yes.
Come on back.
Yes.
Don't stay away. Just stay right here because ladies need what you have to offer. And God gave you this. So just push, push, push.
Amen.
You're
Thank
walking in your
you.
purpose.
Yes, thank you. So listen, when I first came back, what, 2 weeks ago, I said that there were certain people in my life that kept pushing me, like, when you gonna come back? When you gonna Nicole was one of those people. Cheryl was another one of those. Like, when are you
Mm.
gonna come back? When are you gonna come back? And I thank you, ladies. I thank you, Nicole. I thank you, Cheryl, for being those voices on that left side that just said, listen, you need to share your gift. You need to be out here. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
sharing what God has purpose for you. And so I just thank y'all. I thank you for being an encourager, Nicole. I thank you for being always encouraging,
Mm-hmm.
having encouraging words. And we've had plenty of conversations behind the scene nobody knows
That's right.
about. And so I just thank you for being one of those confidants. So
Of course, you are welcome.
Nicole Maybon Brewer, the Mary Kay Diva. Listen, if you need
Yes.
a skincare, listen, it's also important as you age and as you're becoming to develop a skincare routine. I say this all the time, ladies. It is, listen, drink your water, moisturize your face daily, and mind your
And
own
mind
damn
your
business.
business.
Listen, and if you need a skincare routine, please visit Nicole. She can hook you up. She has
Yes,
her products, Mary Kay, which is very good products. They're also for Black ladies. Sometimes we don't
that's
even
right.
think that they are for African American ladies, but there are products that are tailored to our skincare needs.
Right.
But
Hmm.
I think that's another thing I learned as I was getting older, how important it is
Hmm.
to have a skincare routine
Thank you.
daily. Okay.
Yes,
When I
Yes.
was younger, I used to throw some lotion on my face and keep it going.
absolutely.
Or sometimes I didn't throw lotion on my face.
Hmm.
And as I got older and perimenopause started kicking in, I started getting these dry patches. And it is so important to develop a very
Hmm.
healthy, thriving skincare routine so that those wrinkles don't set in, those dark eyes
Right.
don't set in.
That's
It's
right.
important to go to sleep, ladies. It's important to get your rest at night.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's so important as we get older to just have self-care routines. And so
Right.
yes, if you need a skincare routine, Nicole got you covered. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sis, for being a part
Mhm.
of this discussion on tonight.
Well,
Nikila, give us an affirmation, share a little bit about the services that you provide. I know that you provide ceremonies
Hey,
for them people that want to get married
I
and
do.
yes. Where can we find you?
So, if I was to give myself some or affirmation or advice, it would actually come from my younger self to my older self, because that's where I seem to lost my way. Is that to remember that I was always right. It's been that's what my younger self has been calling out. All the things you pray for, God has been saying yes. Now embrace it, enjoy it. You hear, and really take time to appreciate where God has me, and so my affirmation is that I say to myself, I am a daughter of the Most High God, and I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And so for me, that just puts me back in the mindset every time who I am, what purpose I have, and who got my back. If I just say that one little phrase, and
Yes,
so. And that's just kind of where I've been really encouraging myself lately. From my younger self, tell them to my older self, like, don't
yes,
give up. Like, you were right. Now let's enjoy it. And so I see all the things that I asked God for coming to fruition. And so it's just to enjoy this season of where I'm at. And so
thank
that would be
you.
my affirmation to myself. And I'm all over the place. I do so many things. I am a author. I do have two books. One is called why Smart Girls Do Dumb Things and the God Who Loves Them. It's
Yes,
you think Olivia Pope almost if she was in church. She's really
yes,
smart, but she does a lot of dumb things. And so I look at why we do those things in the Bible and the different women and why we kind of do some of the things we do. And then also 7 Days to Pray the Single Away. That's a
yes,
partner prayer devotion. And that's dope right there. That's all God. That's not me, but that's one of those good books where you can get with some girlfriends and really pray about singleness and get focused on it. Growing.
yes,
So it's not about getting married, it's about growing.
yes,
Also, I do have Majors Matrimony. That is my newest business, my newest baby. I've been marrying folks for the last couple of years. I really, really love, and I really enjoy making people's day happen. So even if it's just a simple elopement, all the way to like I've done. I married somebody as a Wakanda princess.
Yeah.
Just because they had a themed wedding. So all the way from the spectrum, I've been offering a full range of micro wedding and wedding services to where I can help just make their day special, no matter how big or small. And so, majorsmatrimony.com. That's a S on majors. So it's majorsmatrimony.com. And then if you're looking to grow your relationship with God, you want to kind of see things from a different perspective. My TikTok, I'm at Mrs. Majors on TikTok, and I share a lot of good content on the Bible and how we can apply it to our life, especially being women in Christ and things like that. So um
And that's at Mrs. Major on TikTok?
Mrs. Majors, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You can
Absolutely.
Yeah. I would say you can
Yes.
put at Nikila, at Miss Nikila also. I think it might pull up one of the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is at Mrs. Majors on TikTok, at Nikila, and Nikila is Nakilah,
You got it, girl.
and finds her. Yes. Again, she is what I would call my sister in ministry. Listen, and I say that is because we have partied together in ministry.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have partied together in our young 20s and 30s. But we have also seen each other grow in ministry. And it is something I think that is special when, even though you're partying together, you can still recognize ministry and the higher calling in women who are sitting next to you, or women you admire, or your peers. And this walk, this call to ministry is not for the easy, it's not for the light. And it comes with many ebbs and flows and ups and downs. And we're human at the end of the day. And so um, no matter what we go through, we're still called to a higher calling. So please check her out on majorsmatrimony.com. Also, Mrs. Major on TikTok, and check her out.
Thank you.
Last but not least, Miss Ray Lynn, who gives a middle finger and she don't.
Hey.
Yeah, that was the highlight of your birthday party.
Yeah. I don't think they'll let me live that down.
Yeah. Let us know where we could check you out, and any affirmation that you have for us, for younger ladies, for yourself. What would you share for us on this evening?
I think my affirmation would be: one, you are powerful. And
Yes.
two, you are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of that promotion. You are
Yes.
worthy of that increase. You are
Yes.
worthy of that peace. And
Yes.
most of all, you are worthy of that happiness.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that would be the aspiration.
Yes.
Um, you can check me out. I have a couple of platforms: Aspiring Visions Travel, which is under IntelliTravel / Inspiring Visions Travel / Rayland Crockett. I'm also doing Inspiring Business Consulting, which is actually a small business consulting for human resources as well as accounting. I've been in that. Oh, it's been 10 years now that I've
Yeah.
had that as well. You can find me on social media right now, which would be Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as Instagram. And last but not least, the wine lady is coming. She will be having new events starting this summer. So stay tuned on her.
Yes.
Ladies, if you love wine, I think I'm going to be providing wine, non-alcoholic, and also I have a real couple of events in store for this summer.
Yes. And there's that at Rayland Crockett on social media where we can find you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
yeah.
So, HR consulting,
Mhm.
travel, and the wine lady. I have purchased a bottle of your wine, I do think, before.
Yes,
And yes, please, absolutely. You know, us ladies love our wine. We love a good glass of wine, child.
yes,
So, I'm looking forward to any events that you have, and you already know the Millers will be there to support.
yes.
So again, thank
Thank
you,
you.
ladies. I appreciate you on this evening. Look, this was everything that I wanted the conversation to be. I know it's late. It's especially late for you, Nikila. So I'm gonna put you ladies backstage. If you have a quick 5 minutes to hang around and we can wrap up backstage, I would definitely love that while I wrap up here. But I think the lady said it best that getting older, let's reframe it. It's not getting old, it's becoming who God has purposed us to be. And again, we have said it before and we'll say it again, that it is a journey, but it is an honor. It is a privilege to get old. So, again, if you are in the audience, if you have stuck around with us for the last 2 hours, put some kissy lips, some high heels, some lipsticks in the chat. Thank my ladies. Give them a round of applause and smooches and some hand claps for being here on this evening. Thank you, ladies. I'm going to go ahead and put you backstage. And again, I just thank you for adding to the conversation on this evening. Okay, one by one, I'm gonna put you ladies backstage. Okay, y'all, listen. Um, it has been a great conversation on this evening. Uh oh, let me just. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay, sorry about that. So listen, what I was saying was, thank you for being a part of tonight's discussion. I do not take your support and your encouragement lightly for being a part of the discussion. Share with someone. Like you got a good girlfriend, you say, "Hey girl, I was part of this discussion on tonight, or I tapped into this podcast and she was saying something. Namia Carnice was saying something. Please share, like, and subscribe to my YouTube page, and my personal page. I would love for you to continue to be a part of this discussion because we'll have more discussion like this. So my next discussion coming up on May 5th, I will have another special guest, Dr. Trayvon Davis Neal. We're going to talk about being booked and busy, being booked and busy. And in that conversation, we're going to dissect the toxicity of busyness, especially for us as Black women, and sometimes how we feel that we need to accomplish this, and that. And sometimes that's a cover up for some of the trauma that we are experience. Sometimes it is a trauma response. And so we're going to dissect that, and that will be on May 5th. So, in order for you to know when that conversation is coming, you got to stay tuned. You got to stay tuned and subscribe or like my podcast page. So, let me put these out here because I need you to go right now and subscribe and like my podcast pages on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, I need you to go ahead and tap in and like and subscribe. So if you are on Facebook, that's how you can find me, Namia Carnice. High Heels and Lipstick Conversation, or you can find me at High Heels and Lipstick Conversation podcast. Okay. So you can find me by my name, my author's name, Namia Carnice, or you can type in at High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. You can also join me on YouTube at High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. Like, share, and subscribe so that you know when I'm going live again. Again, if you are on my personal page, there will come a time where you will no longer be able to see these lives and no longer be able to see these podcasts. So I would really appreciate if you would support my podcast pages, which is Namia Carnice High Heels and Lipstick Conversation podcast, or my podcast page, High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. So I really appreciate that. Again, please go to Amazon and purchase one of my books. So you have 7 lessons for her. Okay. 7 lessons for her, 7 lessons for healing, empowerment, and restoration. And you can find those by going to Amazon.com and typing in my um, author's name, which is Namia Carnice. And you can also find Lipstick Affirmation, Words of Wisdom Every Grown Ass Woman Needs to Know by typing in my author's name, Namia Carnice, and those 2 books will come up for you. Again, listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Tonight was a great conversation. It's late. Some of y'all got to go to work tomorrow. Y'all probably laying in the bed listening to me right now. So join me again on May 5th for Booked and Busy. Stay tuned. Stay tuned to my social media pages so you can keep abreast of what conversations that we have going on. I appreciate you. Angela says, great conversation. I thank you, ladies. I thank you. I like you. And if any brothers out there that tuned in tonight, I thank you as well. Smoochers, until we see each other again. Thank you. All right, my beautiful souls. That's a wrap on this episode of High Heels and Lipstick Conversation. I hope you're leaving inspired, empowered, and ready to walk boldly in your heels. If today's conversation spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Do me a favor and share it with your tribe. And don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, please note the opinions and thoughts expressed on tonight's episode are those of Namia Carnice and High Heels Lipstick Conversations alone, and are not the expressed opinions of any other organizations or entities I represent. Music was provided by Upbeat for creators at upbeat.io. Follow me on all social media platforms at High Heels and Lipstick Conversations for more inspiration, real talk, and sisterhood. And remember, keep your heels high, your lip bold, and your confidence even higher. Until next time, y'all, stay fierce, stay fabulous, and keep the conversation going. Smooches. See y'all soon.